Well, it's an interview with Catherine Haley's, and the interviewers, they alternate taking turns asking her questions, and the reader will notice that they're taking turns by seeing their little initials on the side of the paper. Well, the tone, oh, I'm sorry, John, but your flag's undone. I'm sorry. But it began talking about the radio frequency identity, which is the RFID technology. And Haley thinks that there's going to be a movement of computation. The RFIDs can be used for surveillance and for, as Dan Swanson does, used to hypothesize causes for future diseases. Then exploring, I'm sorry, there's not enough oxygen out here in space. The article then explored ways of tracking the RFIDs, and it can be used in mass production. Each individual object has their identity, an individual identity. They are incredibly small and hold so much information that Haley's explains that you can have a tag in your shoe and walk into a store, and the reader in the store can tell that you walked in the store and also tell your previous purchases. So it can tell whether or not you're a cheapskate or a big spender, and that you'll be treated accordingly for it. And then it talks about other uses, such as Walmart and the military, especially in Japan, where the military can insert these tags along roads, possibly 2 miles ahead of like Humvees when they're on their routes, and the reader can pick up what the traffic is like in that area, so they can know if there's any roadside bombs or anything, so they can use it for protection. Well, John, each interviewer wanted to ask their own questions, so it made it kind of jumpy in the interview. The interviewers were Nicholas Jean, Kuzi Venn, and Martin Ham. And like I said before, you can tell who is asking the questions with their initials on the side, asking Catherine Hayes. And that is arrangement.
Yeah, it's pretty hot, man. Well, they really wanted to learn more about the RFIDs and how they work and such, and then they also want to know like the pros and cons. And then they seem to have a pretty basic knowledge of what they are, but they still wanted to clarify the parts that they didn't really know as well as others. Should have seen that one, man. Woo!
Pretty good, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, she kind of only mentioned like the pros, and they were kind of like trying to get her to like say what was bad about it. So she wasn't really being a real critic. She was just kind of saying all the good things and like this is good, and not really like what could be bad. I think she wanted to pick Japan because they already started testing in Japan, and that they use the technology there, and it's one of the more technological advanced countries there is. So it'd probably seem like a good place to have the interview. Well, she really wanted to inform about the RFIDs, and she wanted to promote that they're pretty good, and that they would make like many good uses for like marketing and research and all that kind of stuff.
Hi, I'm Caroline. We're here at the Presentation Center. We just got to the Final Four, and I have to do an interview, I guess. Well, she's a professor at Duke University, and so that makes it for a credible source since she has PhD and whatever. She has written an extensive selection of papers on the subject of machine versus mankind, so she obviously knows the subject very well. And she, within her papers, especially one I've recently read on the How We Became Posthuman, she talks about the relationship between the computer and humanity and how it affected us, but she talks about it from both sides. So she also knows the bad side that could come with such advanced technology. Well, ubiquitous means can you scroll down? Okay. Ubiquitous means existing or being everywhere at the same time, and surveillance means a close watch kept over someone or something. So I think with the title, from the definition of both words in the title, I think we're led to believe that RFIDs are just an instrument to keep a close watch on us, other than just facilitating our lives, or that's the way the authors portray it for us. It's implying that it's just something that keeps close surveillance to us, other than something that's made to help us. Well, I'm sure that it seems that they have already some opinion on the RFIDs, and obviously they have some knowledge of what it is. And I think that they followed very specific lines to induce her to tell them whatever they wanted to hear. Like, they wanted her to say that they're probably more harmful than they are helpful, and so their questions try to lead her to say that, but she, on her point of view, she did a good job in dodging those.
Ubiquitous what?
Surveillance.
Take two.
It's the 5 musketeers too.
What'd I say?
You did 3.
You think that they had like a motive to try to expose her, some type of hypocrite in any sense?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Well, it's an interview, John. I don't know how to do this.
You're fine.